Change doesn't start with a plan, it starts with a decision that the way things are is not the way things have to stay. But here's the hard truth. Most people never make that decision. They wait, they hope, they complain, but they don't act. Why? Because change is hard. It's uncomfortable. It asks us to challenge what we know, to step into the unknown, and to risk failure. But if you want to create real change in your life, in your work, in the world, you have to start thinking differently. Great leaders, great innovators, the people who change the course of history, they all have one thing in common. They start with why. Why does this change matter? Why is it worth the struggle? Because when you know your why, the how becomes clear, and the actions you take become inevitable. Change doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when we dare to step into the arena, when we choose courage over comfort. So ask yourself, what change do you want to create? And more importantly, why does it matter? Because when you find that answer, nothing can stop you. There's a force that drives every great movement, every innovation, every transformation. It's not the what, it's not even the how, it's the why. Why does this matter? Why should anyone care? Too many people jump straight into action without ever asking the most important question. They focus on goals, strategies, and tactics, but without a clear why, those things are just noise. Purpose is the foundation. It's the reason we get up when we fail, the reason we keep going when it's hard. When you know your why, obstacles become challenges, not roadblocks. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. The same is true for change. If you want people to follow, if you want momentum, you must first define the deeper reason. Think about the most influential leaders in history. They didn't just present plans. They articulated a cause, a belief, a vision of what could be. That's what inspires action. That's what turns an idea into a movement. So before you take the first step, before you draft the strategy, ask yourself, why does this change matter, not just to you, but to others? Because when you find that answer, everything else falls into place. The most powerful changes in the world didn't happen because someone had a better process. They happened because someone had a better reason. Most people live in the land of someday. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll speak up. Someday I'll make a difference. But someday is a myth. Change doesn't happen in the future. It happens in the present, the moment you decide. Waiting for the perfect time is just an excuse. There will never be a perfect moment. There will always be risks, always be doubts. But the people who create real change don't wait for certainty. They act on conviction. Indecision is the silent killer of progress. Every day you hesitate, the world moves forward without you. The competition gets stronger, the problem gets worse, the opportunity slips away. The difference between those who change the game and those who watch from the sidelines isn't talent or luck. It's the willingness to say, enough, today is the day. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you wait, the bigger the resistance grows. But the moment you commit, momentum takes over. Change is uncomfortable. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But here's the truth. Discomfort is the price of progress. The moment you step into the unknown, your mind will resist. Your body will resist. The world will resist. Our brains are wired for safety, for predictability. That's why we crave routine, why we fear the unfamiliar. But the magic, the real growth, happens just beyond that fear. Every breakthrough in history came from someone who refused to settle for good enough, who pushed past the doubt, past the criticism, past the voice that said, "This is too hard." The discomfort you feel, that's not a sign to stop, it's a sign you're on the right path. The only way to build resilience is to face resistance. The most successful people aren't fearless. They're just more comfortable being uncomfortable. They know that on the other side of struggle is strength. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success. We want the big win, the dramatic transformation. But real change doesn't happen in leaps. It happens in steps. Too many people burn out because they try to do too much too fast. They sprint when they should be running a marathon. But lasting change is built on daily discipline, not momentary motivation. Think of a river carving a canyon. It doesn't happen in a day. It's the relentless, consistent flow of water over time. The same is true for you. Small, intentional actions compound. A 1% improvement every day leads to a 37x change over a year. The key isn't intensity, it's persistence. Stop waiting for the grand gesture. Start with the tiny daily wins, because those are the ones that last. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to change, you need to change your environment. Doubt is contagious, but so is belief. The people around you will either fuel your fire or extinguish it. Great leaders don't just build movements, they build tribes. Groups of people who share the same vision, the same determination. Because change is a team sport. Find the ones who challenge you, who push you, who remind you of your why when you forget. Because on the days you want to quit, they'll be the reason you keep going. The right people don't just support your dream, they make it inevitable. Change doesn't ask for permission, it demands action. It starts as a whisper in your mind, a quiet knowing that things could be better, that you could be better. And the moment you listen to that whisper, everything shifts. The world is shaped by those who refuse to accept good enough, by people who understand that progress isn't handed to us, it's built by us. One decision, one uncomfortable step, one relentless day at a time. Your why is your compass. It's the light that cuts through doubt, the anchor in the storm when the path gets hard, and it will. Your why will remind you why you started. Waiting for the perfect moment is surrender. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The only moment that matters is this one, the one where you choose courage over comfort. Discomfort is the price of admission for a life of meaning. The fear you feel isn't a stop sign, it's a signpost. It means you're growing, stretching, becoming someone new. Small steps are the silent heroes of transformation. They don't make headlines, but they build empires. Consistency is the force that turns the impossible into the inevitable. The people around you will determine your trajectory. Surround yourself with those who see your potential even when you don't. Their belief will become your fuel. Change isn't a singular event, it's a way of living. It's waking up every day and choosing to move forward, even when the world tells you to stay put. You don't need permission to make a difference. You don't need a title to lead. You just need the willingness to act and the courage to keep going. The most powerful changes in history began with a single person who refused to quit. That person could be you. Your legacy won't be defined by what you plan, it'll be defined by what you did. By the problems you solved, the lives you touched, the difference you made. The world needs what only you can bring, your ideas, your voice, your relentless belief that things can be better. This is your call to action. Not someday, not eventually, now. The future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who build it.